All right, we're going to head now to the BetQL guest hotline. Welcome in our pal, Doc Walker. He's the host of the Burgundy and Gold postgame show here on 106.7 The Fan. He'll be doing some late-night duties after the Bears-Commanders game on Thursday night. What's up, Doc?
Gentlemen, you guys kill me, man. I'm still laughing from yesterday. I mean, your bit on the moral. Oh, my God. I tell you. I mean, I needed that. I really did because I was so teed off.
Right. For throwing the game away. Yeah.
No, I just couldn't sleep. It killed me because we were that close to beating the champs, and we flipped the script in 1 week. I mean, the kid, I'm looking at Sam. I go, wow. You flipped that script in 1 week.
It's incredible.
But again, if you don't win, it's a dream that felt good. But when you woke up, you realized that it was a dream.
Right, but here's my take on it, Doc, and I know you being a former player, you won't necessarily agree, but I feel like this season is more of about finding our quarterback, not as much about like squeaking into the playoffs. And that was a massive game for Sam. And so while I always want to win, I was just so pleased that he showed those signs that we are closer, I think, to finding somebody.
In theory, you're absolutely right. But in reality is that we don't know anything about this season. It's all up for grabs. If you look at the crap we had to watch last night with the Giants and the Hawks, and you get both of them, I just think the possibilities are unlimited. If Sam is the Sam we saw against Philly as opposed to the Bills.
Right.
How you recover from that is amazing, which shows you what he's capable of. That he, and I thought, could he really handle coach throughout the whole week? And him and EB, it's a blend. It's a perfect blend. So as long as you know a guy can be coached hard, that's all you want. He's showing that. But he kind of fell apart, but he put himself back together. And I go, man, they got a chance. They might win this. They could win this. Maybe it's possible. And then you get to the moment of time. You're on the goal line, and you got to make a decision. And they opted out to not go for it.
You didn't like that.
Well, I didn't know how to feel at the time because I go, their strength is there up front. You're going against their power. But the innovation of Eric Bieniemy, proven already, they walked in from the goal line. I mean, the Chiefs' whole deal is that you get inside that red zone, you have no idea what's going on. But I don't know whose call it was. At the time, obviously, they weren't prepared for it. So now you'll never know. But the fact that you were that close to it is tough. Tough to deal with for me.
Doc, you mentioned Coach Bieniemy. I thought it was a good response from Coach Bieniemy. All week we talked about the lack of balance. Well, in the first half in particular,
Agreed.
You saw a good run-to-pass balance. You saw some more play action and different things, which gave, at times, Sam Howell had better pockets.
Better protection schemes.
Yeah, and he got rid of everything. Looks better if you get rid of the ball. I mean, everything looks better. And if everybody does their job, what you're looking for is not whiffs, a perfect no-hitter. You can't have a no-hitter. As long as you engage with a guy and slow him down a couple seconds, I mean, you could be going up against some kind of Gila monster, and that's what they have. But we dealt with it. And I just believe for this. You're going up against our front, our four big uns. You practice with these guys. You should never be shocked when it comes to a game if our guys are bringing it, and we know they're capable of bringing it. But the bottom line is that we didn't get the job done. And if you start passing out gifts when you don't win, you can kill it. Your spirit will never be what it should be.
Yeah, I don't expect the players to be satisfied. I think it was just kind of an interesting take for us.
It was hilarious.
Good, thank you. What about the Emmanuel Forbes situation? I like him. I love everything sort of about him. He's rookie, struggled. I didn't understand the game plan though. And listen, I don't know anything, but I would have put it maybe a more physical guy, maybe like a St. Juice on A.J. Brown. I didn't understand why we put that rookie who's, still that slight against him at trial. I just didn't understand that. And I don't know. What was your take?
Well, I called my corners because I'm with you. My gut kept thinking, where's St. Juice for his size?
Right.
It's more in length.
Right.
And I called Carpenter in my corner. I said, hey, man. He said, remember Daryl? We had Daryl on the island as a baby.
Yeah.
And he says, when you get number one corners, they just got to do it. And now you're counting on your rush. So my question is that let's take the emphasis off the baby and go, where were the thugs at? We need pressure. Every corner's best friend is pressure. So I'm just saying at some point, we got to look at ourselves harder and go, we have the talent, but the talent did not perform at that time. Guys running double moves. You could say, well, you could have a guy over the top. That's probably something we can balance. We can say, well, mess on Jack. Did you think you needed to? Obviously, he didn't. I keep going, hey, man, either we got to win up front. One of our groups has got to be superior because our payroll's not at the bottom in the league. See, I judge this thing very clearly. How bigger your payroll, more I expect of you. You want bags? I want rings. Whatever you want, I got a counter to it. But what you can't do is give me nothing burger. I got to have it. You either who you are, say you are, or want to be, or you're not. And the guy, and again, you're going against the champs. So I'm measuring our team that I threw up in my mouth watching against Buffalo. And now all of a sudden I'm going, what? We're capable of that? Boy, if we win this thing, then you're right in the hunt legitimately, not just in fantasy.
Right.
But again, didn't get it done.
Doc, on the Commanders wide outside, I love that Terry and Jahan combined for 19 targets. And I especially love Terry being focused on early, getting a few balls to him, getting him in the flow of the game right from the jump. So I hope to see more of that Thursday night and going forward from Coach Bieniemy and from Sam targeting his top two weapons.
Made me feel good, too. How about Curtis Samuels?
Yeah.
De'Armond Brown. I mean, we have a arsenal of people, but you got to have time to get to him. And he's got to let the ball go out of his hands. And then one trip, I thought Leno played his butt off. I mean, it's hard. I mean, there's one thing about Philly. And when they're in our division, we're so used to them, we really don't even accept the fact of how good they are. It's a hell of a team. And you went down there and punched them in the face, fought back, and more importantly, had a chance to win. And that's the thing that, is kicking me to death. And I don't want to waste the energy on it because I got a game Thursday and there's nothing I can do about it. But that just burns me up to have had that, being in that position and then not pull the pin.
Hey, Doc, real quick, I just want to get back to defense for a second. I have to say I've been impressed with Chase. Like, he's been a little bit more impactful than I anticipated. We all know his God-given ability. I just didn't know if we were going to see it. And so far, I have to say I'm fairly pleased.
Yeah, you can bet. He's a guy I would bet on. I mean, people love to go at him. That's his style. But I would bet on him because of his motor. What he's got, what we all have to understand is that when you miss that kind of time and have major surgery, I don't care how much you say, your body has to recover and you got to get back to that stamina. Because his deal was his hustle. He has a lot of the same qualities that the lunatic in Pitt and in San Francisco have. And in Dallas, it's a relentless motor. His motor, he's still catching up. Once he gets to that part, then I think we'll have it because he's added some separation techniques to his arsenal. He's worked on his game. But there's one thing you can't replace, and that is that motor, that drive, that stamina when you're rebuilding. So, no, I don't worry about it. I've never had worried about Chase, but it's about the entire group. And if not Chase, then the next guy. Obata, see, we're missing some depth. You look at guys as being replacements and subs, but those guys were good. F.A. Obata was damn good. There's a lot of those pieces that really helped them. Got to get more out of the backers. There's some things that I've let on my wish list is absolutely more pressure. By any means possible, but we got to get more pressure.
Doc, when you look at the schedule, certainly to start the year, you'd say, all right, the Bills and the Eagles are going to be losses. All right, so but you got the first 2 wins, 2-2. Now, when you look at the next 3 weeks, after these three teams have really struggled mightily. The Bears, we just went through all their defensive stats. I mean, their defensive stats are near the bottom, if not at the bottom of the league in a lot of them.
I didn't know they had any.
Right.
Okay.
And then Fields was awful until last week. Okay, he came out of his shell a little bit with 4 touchdowns, but that could be an outlier. Falcons are struggling, certainly at the quarterback position. And then the Giants, offensively, they are just, I mean, Barkley will probably be back, but still, they're bad. Anyway, you look at the next 3 weeks, and I said it earlier in the last segment, you got to go 2-1, especially if you think you're a playoff team. These are the type of teams you got to beat.
You got to beat them all, Jace. But the only problem is we don't know who we are.
I know.
I mean, just when you start thinking, I go to Bear game now, I'm petrified.
That's a
over
must-win, Doc. The Bears are
No,
a must-win.
it is, but this is the game based on our last home appearance and how we function. We're still learning who we are. I know what we want to feel like, but the reality is that was a winnable game. You went up there and showed what you're capable of, but you gave up 9 sacks. This sack thing, we're giving away real estate, and we're not good enough yet to give away that chunk yardage and recover from it. And now, what do you think the Bears are thinking? So one thing with our fan base tickles the hell out of me. We think we're this and that. What do you think Chicago's thinking? They're going, this is our week. This is the week we can bounce back.
Right.
They cut on that Buffalo film. They're cracking up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're cracking up. And this is a game that in the past we'd end up rendering.
Yeah,
And
but
we gotta
their
stop
coach
that.
is a doofus. He decided not to kick a field goal
Yeah, he's
with a couple
terrible.
minutes left and goes for it. And, of course, they don't get it, and they lose because Denver goes down the field and kicks a field goal. Doofus.
Yeah, he's not the only one in this league.
He's a doofus.
He's not the only one in
I
this
don't even
league.
know if I can say
that's
that
true.
word.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely got Doc,
Doofus is safe.
Doc,
All right,
we
good.
got to run, man. We
I don't
always
know these
appreciate
days.
Thank you,
time.
brothers, man.
All right,
All right.
Hey,
Thank
keep
you,
up.
Doc.
Hey, that was hilarious. Good
All right,
deal.
thank you.
All right.
Thanks,
Who
buddy.
knew Doc was going to love the moral
See?
victory Monday. He was into it.
See?
Uh-huh.